Thank you for listening to Comics for Fun and Profit. This is episode 529. And since it's Drew talking, you must know that Kyle's on a camping trip yet again. This is not a solo episode, though. I am lucky enough to be joined by the great Mike Myers. Mike, thank you for joining me.
Oh, I'm excited. I've always wanted to do a Wizard magazine speculation.
We are not as good as Wizard Magazine. So we're not even in the same ballpark. But Mike, tell them a little bit about your show if they are not listeners. I have been a listener of Mike M's Weekly Reads since the very first episode that you spun off of the 70 other podcasts that you do, and it's fantastic because the evolution of Mike M's, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it started off as like just a diary of what you read that week, and then kind of you started incorporating feedback from listeners, and you'd answer questions and stuff, and then there would be like whole themed episodes that would be like, you know what else grinds my gears?
Yeah.
And then it would go, and then you just kind of like tag on what you read that week on the end. So the evolution of the shows have really been kind of amazing over the. Have you done 100 of them? I think.
Yeah,
now?
I'm over 100, I think.
Yeah,
And then
it's really fun.
I realized as I went on, it was easier to talk to myself. Like just walk around with my wireless headsets and just
Yeah,
like I don't plan anything. That's too much work.
yeah. Well, yeah. Do
So
you
I'm
and
like the people that are like, anal retentive about certain things, and they like format to be perfect and in editing. That's not me.
no,
I do it
I,
because I love it and don't really care um, about working because I do enough work. I don't want to work to put this out.
exactly. It's
Yeah,
not. This is not a job.
this is fun.
This
Yeah, this is
this
for
is this
fun.
is for fun. And you do Mike M's Weekly Reads, you do Geek Brunch, you do DC Noise.
Yeah, DC Noise, but it's mostly been DC Spotlight because there's three of us that
Okay.
we haven't been able to get together because of someone's wife. But other than that,
And then you do a Collector's Corner, or is that what it's called, Collector's
yeah,
Corner?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those are pretty fantastic, really in-depth conversations with collectors, big and small, and different formats, and how they love the hobby and what comics mean to them and stuff. Those are really good. I encourage you guys to seek those out as well. So, does that touch on all of them?
Yep. And
And
then I do
and
a hour-long preview spotlight for John Mayo.
sometimes they're pretty long. I
I
was
tr
I was wondering, you should spin those off as your own little bonus episode.
Yeah, I could probably do that.
The guy who did the last one with you about the
Sergeant
the
Rock.
war comics.
Yeah.
What was his name? What's his name?
His name is Kirk Spencer.
And does he podcast with you on any of your episodes?
Just Collector's Corner. I got him on because we wanted to talk war comics. So he was like the perfect guy to get onto that war spotlight.
Yeah, he did a great job. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
he's good.
he's a natural and he's only recorded twice.
And nice to have another war comic fan out there. That's good.
Yeah. Hopefully we get people to buy it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to add it now. For sure. I'm getting a couple copies just to help support the cause. Right?
I just hope they put more old stuff. Um, I'm kind of concerned because I went to Walmart to pick up the Walmart books, and the Ghosts one I was expecting like some House of Mystery, some Ghosts, and House of Secrets, and it was all kind of new stuff. The new
Oh,
stuff is cool though because it has three new stories, so that's cool. But it's more in the superhero vein instead of like the horror genre with Cain and Abel. I thought it was
yeah.
gonna be Cain and Abel and DC Ghost, which is the first DC comic I've ever bought with my own money. So I was excited, but there wasn't any of that old material in there.
Now, did you read the Sergeant Rock that Tom King did in the Walmart book?
Yes, I did.
Did you like it?
Was that in the Walmart? I thought that
I-
one was in one of those 90-page DC specials.
Oh, okay. I thought he.
The Christmas
Okay.
special or one of
So
those
he didn't do
things.
the one that was in the Walmart book, the Batman backup
He
or
did
Superman backup.
he did the he may have. I haven't read it if it happened. He did a Swamp Thing and a Sergeant Rock, but the one I read of his Sergeant Rock was in one of those Christmas specials, I think,
Ah,
or one of the annuals. I can't remember specifically.
I remember that one. But I have read one recently that was in one of the Walmart books, but I just can't
Oh,
remember.
was he was in the latest Batman one? Then you said because he was on the cover. I saw it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I need to read it.
Okay, it was good. It was good. I thought it was Tom King, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it might have been
Well,
somebody else.
if it is, I would be surprised if he doesn't write one of them because he does like Sergeant Rock. He's a hit or miss writer with me, but I'm really curious. I'll read anything that he puts out.
Oh, I'll read any Sergeant Rock that's put out, and that would be cool if the top notch writer got it.
Yeah.
So I would be pleased with that. So let's see, we've got a slew of feedback. If you want to go along for the ride and listen to some of our listeners talk.
Sure.
All righty. We've got Rockland Gua, who says, "Hello, Drew. I'm so happy to see you did that little previews review. I like it. I want more of it. It would be fun if you and Kyle would do a nice long show with all your previews picks. Anyway, I enjoy all your shows, guys. Keep up the good work." We've talked about doing that, Rock. It's just we've done one, and you just basically hear us flipping through previews pages. So if we can do a little curated one, like the little mini one that we did, then we'll try to expand it. We will try to expand it. And we're glad you like it, and we'll either do it as a bonus episode or when Kyle takes a vacation, we'll slip it in the feed.
It worked out well last time.
Nick Buter says, "Hey, Drew, who's this Moon Knight character?" That's not funny, Nick. Don't know what's wrong with you. Moon Knight is one of my favorites, and you should love him because he's awesome.
I almost have everything that he's ever done, except I'm missing 2 issues from the 4-issue miniseries that he did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I have his first appearance and Werewolf by Night.
When I was completing my set of his stuff, like before now, because he's done some new appearances on different things that I don't have all those. But back in the day, the Stephen Platt Spectre were the toughest ones to find. They were like really expensive.
That's because of Wizard Magazine, I think. Plus, that was when McFarlane and all those guys were hot, and Platt came hyper realism, kind of like Rip. Like at least when Rip used to do like some of the Crossed or some of the Warren Ellis books at Avatar.
Yeah.
He would draw like everything on the cigarette. I mean, he had a lot of lines like Stephen Platt. There was a lot of line work, and Platt did Prophet too.
Did he?
Yeah. Plus, he made like a lot of money, like because at the time, Liefeld was paying people a lot. He was buying some of his creators' cars and stuff to come work for him, and that's why a lot of the other image creators did not care for him because he was actually stealing creators from like Top Cow, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And it's because he was paying bank. He was paying the guys well.
And he died, right?
Ooh,
Stephen Platt. He's not around anymore, is he?
I don't know. I didn't know he died.
I thought he had. Maybe not. I could get that stuff confused. It's possible.
I hope he didn't.
But those were tough ones to find to
If
finish
he
up.
did, then he must have died pretty young, because I think he was like when he was hot, I think he was like in the Liefeld or Todd McFarlane age, so he would have passed fairly young.
Let me look him up real quick.
He was really
This is,
good though. I liked him a lot.
oh yeah, those were great issues.
I don't know if they're still as hot as they were, but when Wizard was putting out, they were like $35 to $50 books, almost like the week they came out.
No, he's not dead. He's not
Yeah.
dead. I didn't mean to kill you, Steven. You're good.
I wonder what he's doing. Like, I wonder why he's not penning anything recently.
Think he's slow?
Well, he could be a cover artist. I mean, there are
Yep.
people that are making more money doing covers than interiors.
Oh yeah, yeah. The art
Yeah,
terms of the world, for sure.
yeah. Plus, it
Um,
pays better. The one woman that does the covers for Dr. Afra, I can't remember her name. She did
Ashley Witter.
yeah, Ashley Witter. I think she mentioned somewhere that she was making more money for the covers than she was doing interiors for Squarriors.
Well, yeah, Scorier's
And
sold like
Squarriors though
four.
is well, it's got to finish still, right?
It's yeah, and so she sold like four copies, and two of them were to me. So
Yeah. Hey, if she ever hits it big, you have her
yeah.
first. Like I have one of Fiona Staples' first with his Done to Death, which is like a vampire one for Marcosa, and that never went up in price, but it's one of her first works.
Oh, I don't remember that one. Done to
Yeah,
Death. Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
I
You could
used to
probably,
be like when I was a younger collector in the 80s and 90s. I would go chase like artists and writers earlier stuff, and
yeah.
try to get everything. I tried to get everything McFarlane did, and
Hmm.
people like that I really liked. I'd go after it and try to get all their early stuff. It's fun.
I still do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It does. It's like a rabbit hole. Like you go on these rabbit holes all the time. But yeah, but for me, it's when I discovered BKV, I had to find everything he ever wrote and read it.
Yeah.
Speaking of BKV, Victor asks, which BKV comics would make better movies and which would make better TV shows? Well, we've already got Runaways as a TV show, right? And that's kind of his.
That's an
Um,
amazing TV show too.
I haven't watched it yet. What
Oh,
channel is it on?
the actors that they picked, it's on Hulu.
It's a Hulu show?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And when I watched the first episode and I was hooked, I had to finish it. And I'm
Yeah.
not like a TV guy. I'd rather read comics, but it was pretty phenomenal and addictive. And I like the tweaks. Like they tweak things, like they always do in Walking Dead, and it
Yeah.
doesn't always follow the same. And I think they tweaked it for the best. Sometimes it's better that way. Plus, I like seeing stuff that is a little different from something I already read. Like I want it to be a little bit different, so I experience it different.
That's true. That's true. I thought they did that well with Deadly Class the first season.
Oh, it was so good. Too bad it didn't make a second.
Yeah, I blame sci-fi.
The music and the way things were done, like the fight scenes and stuff, and it just had like this 80s, I don't know, like punkish look to it.
It was pretty much perfect for me. I loved it.
Yeah, I was like, that was amazing. They played the Smiths too, and I love
Yeah.
Morrissey. Good Lord, I love Morrissey.
They could have done just if they could have just done one more season and got to the Purge, I think that I would have been okay with them if they stopped then. But they stopped
Yeah.
just like 8 issues in or something like that. It didn't feel like they finished enough.
What surprises me is that like nobody picked it up. Like because you could go to like Amazon or somebody and say, "Look what we have." You
Yeah.
have a property that you should be proud of, and then I would have picked it up.
Yeah.
They've picked
And
up other stuff like Lucifer and stuff like that. And when my Friday Night Lights died, AT&T picked it up and started showing it on DirecTV. So it's like,
yeah, and but it seems like it depends on where it starts. So if it starts on the big four networks and loses steam and gets canceled, therefore they might pick it. Somebody might pick it up for streaming. But if it doesn't make it on Sci-Fi, they're not going to pick it up, which I
yeah,
think is a
I
mistake.
think Krypton's in the same boat, and that's an amazing show. What
That one
DC's
yet either.
done with like Krypton and Alfred or the Pennyworth show, it's just crazy. It's like Elseworlds. It's amazing.
I have those. I have four Pennyworth on my DVR when I had a free Epix or
Yeah,
Epic
that's exactly what I did. I
preview.
watched all four.
Yeah, and so they're sitting on my DVR. I don't have that channel anymore. So if there's any more, I'm in trouble.
We both have in common like things that are a little darker and twisted,
Yeah.
and they've made that area that Pennyworth is really twisted, especially by episode 2. It's really crazy. Like you're like, when did this take place? Like it's just so weird. Like you can't pinpoint a time. It's incredible. You should watch at least the
Uh,
first 2 episodes to get a flavor of it.
I'm in the boat where like my wife and I watch stuff together, and
Yeah.
then we watch a couple things apart. And this is one that she's expressed no interest in watching, so I have to wait till she's not around to watch this one. And sometimes that doesn't happen very often. So
Yeah.
I have to wait till she goes away for the weekend, and I just binge like everything that I want to catch up on.
So let's get
Uh,
back to your question. You
oh
were
yeah,
answering, yeah.
let's see, BK titles that would make better movies or TV show. I think pretty much all of them would make better TV shows to me. I think Why the Last Man would be fantastic as a long TV show. Maybe Ex Machina would be a good movie. I don't know. Paper Girls, I think. What is it? It got optioned for something already. Paper Girls did. So
Yeah, it got optioned. He did Swamp Thing too, Volume 3.
yeah, that
It,
needs to be a movie.
that's crazy. When I read the first issue, I was like, this isn't even a Swamp Thing book. What is it? It's crazy. Issue 1 will blow your mind. He's really good. He is really good.
Yeah, he is really good. What was the thing with Steve Scroce that he did? It was like 6 issues about Canada blowing us away, going to war with America and winning.
I don't
What was,
remember. I have
it
it, but
was
I know what you're talking about. You talked
that
about
was
it on
really
the
good.
show.
That was really good. That would be a good movie. But for the most part, he Saga, of course, would be it's a saga, so it has to be a TV show and a long running one. Um, and hopefully it comes back soon. Has
Of
it been a
all
year yet?
of all of them, it's Why the Last Man that I like the most.
Yeah, that's my favorite as well. But Saga's a close number two. Let's see. Sutton asks, what real cities are the DC cities based on? Is Gotham or Metropolis actually New York City? What about Coast City? What about Star City? Central City? Question mark. Um, well, you're a DC guy. Um, I, first, I'll take the Gotham Metropolis thing because I don't know if anybody. I think Gotham's got to be New York City,
I
right?
I know that I know that they could sort of like see each other across the way, at least in recent things. Like they're not that far apart.
Oh, so it's like, well, then Metropolis would probably be. I don't know. Maybe it's like two boroughs of New York.
Um, Maybe New Jersey and I don't know.
Yeah. Let's
But
see.
one
We've
of
got
them's
what?
really clean. Like Metropolis looks like a clean place to live unless you go to a suicide slum. Then
So
things change.
Metropolis. Metropolis is like Manhattan, and then Gotham is like New Jersey.
Or old
No,
school New York, like in the
or,
red light district when it when before
yeah,
they cleaned it up.
yeah, like The Deuce. If you watch that show on HBO, that era New York City.
Yeah,
That makes sense. That makes sense. What about Bloodhaven?
that one's a
Where would
bridge
that be?
away. That's a bridge, like a hop. You could cross a bridge and get to Bloodhaven from
Really?
Metropolis. Yeah,
It seems like it's so.
Coast City's got to be California. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
probably like San
on the other
Francisco or
side.
LA.
Yeah, San Diego, one of those. Coast City,
Damn.
don't know.
Central City is Barry Allen. Is that Chicago-ish?
You could say that. I never really mapped them out. To me, they were all like imaginary places.
Yeah, maybe they're
I
not
never
based on
like
it.
drew a map, but there probably is a map somewhere. Somebody's probably put it out on the internet.
And like the Nanda Parbat where Ra's al Ghul is.
I
That's
would think of
like
Himalayas.
yeah, always mountains around in that thing.
Yeah,
Smallville, of course, is Kansas, right?
yeah. That
That's
one has to map directly.
that's got to be in Kansas somewhere. Good question. That's pretty interesting.
Hub
I'll
City
have to
would
think
be
about some.
interesting because Hub
Who's who?
City to me was where the question uh, fought, and it was when I was reading the question, I was like, this is way darker than Gotham because like there was just nobody that was not corrupt in the police
Yeah,
force, the mayors. I mean, it was awful. At least you have Commissioner Gordon to look up to. You have some
yeah.
some people in Gotham. Plus, you have an army of your own family protecting Gotham. Where the question, it was just him.
Pretty good. Yeah, there's tons of these fictional cities, and some of them are just I don't really track them to any place real.
Yeah,
You
Gateway
know,
City. That's got to be close to Central City. It's
where
kind of
is
nice to
it?
be fictional though because you can. I mean, some people that want realism in their comics, I guess when you're growing up and you see that Spider-Man's from a certain area of New York, you're like, this is cool. But
Yeah, that's true.
I kind of like the imaginary places because you could get away with a lot more.
Yeah, and you can get a little more imaginative with the landscape and stuff. You don't have to worry about anybody fact checking you. That's true.
Yeah, you don't get any letters saying that's not what that looks like.
Yeah, I've lived there all my life, and that's not what that is. All right. Well, we got a hot off the presses FOC list from Eric over at Cowabunga. FOC, of course, is final order cutoff. These are items that are for 9/16. This order will be due 9/16, so Monday by noonish. To get your order in, you can make changes to your order, add to your order, reduce your order on these items, and this is a way to do that. Eric does a good job of curating this, and sometimes he pulls some of his customers' picks and brings those to the top so that we don't miss them. This week he's selected Batman's Grave #1, Warren Ellis book, the Amazing Fantasy 15 facsimile edition, which of course is one I'm excited about because I don't own that one and probably never will. The Superman 16 Year of the Villain by Brian Michael Bendis, and the Vampirella Red Sonja #2 50 copy Lotte Virgin incentive variant, which is written by Jordy Belair, which is kind of cool. It's a $50 variant.
Oh, I missed out on that one. Darn it.
Yeah,
But is it
that's.
is the it's the Virgin variant? Is there a Tula Lute regular?
I think so. Let's take a look. Good transition,
Because
Mike. It's like you.
I'm a huge Tula Lute fan.
Oh yeah.
A matter of fact, Eric did me a solid. I don't know if you heard that story.
Uh-uh.
We were at C2E2. Oh no, we were at Heroes Con, and I didn't bring my Tula Lute cover with me. You know, my nude variant of that one series. What was it? Faithless.
Oh yeah.
And I really wanted to get it signed. So guess what? Eric gave me his copy, and I got it signed.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So he
That
didn't
is
have
pretty
anything to get
cool.
signed?
I think he had some stuff to get Tula to sign, but I don't know if he did or not. I saw him when I was waiting in line, but I don't know if he waited in it. It took me about, I don't know, like 45 minutes to get through the line because everybody was getting a sketch, you know?
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. She's amazing too. Like she's there's some artists that are like introvert and they kind of just like focus on the work and they don't acknowledge your presence, or they'll just
Yeah.
sign it and then they're on to the next. Tulu Tay is very talkative to everybody she met. Very nice lady.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the ones that are engaging and talk to you. That's pretty fun. So let's slide over to the FOC. I'm looking at the spreadsheet. Mike's looking at the previews world site for his, so we might not sync up exactly, but that's okay. I'm going to start at Dark Horse, and Mike, if you're in the ballpark, shout something out. I'm not looking at Dark Horse right now, and I'm excited about Spell on Wheels because uh, I met Kate Leth at C2E2, and she did a sketch and for me and signed my book. I was asking her, I was like, "Are you going to do another Spell on Wheels?" It was really great. She's like, "I don't know. I hope so." And that was 2 years ago. So finally got one. I'm
Here
really
you
excited
are.
about that.
You got it.
Yeah, we made it.
I
Um,
pre-ordered it, so we're good.
yeah. Did you like the first volume?
I did.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was really good. That's really the only thing that jumps out at me from the Dark Horse section.
Oh, the Umbrella Academy wrapping paper. I think that's pretty cool.
You gonna use it for your Christmas wrap?
No, I think it would be a collector's item. I think this
Really?
thing on eBay in about 10 years, you could sell it for a lot more than $10. You can triple your money
Okay.
on Christmas wrap
That's awesome.
because nobody will have it.
I don't know anyone who's speculated on wrapping paper, but that's a good niche. I like it. There's the Batman's Grave down in DC that Eric was talking about. Should be a big one.
Hopefully, it's
Dollar
better
Comics.
than the annual or the Detective Comics 1000 one he wrote.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Dollar Comics Watchmen. That's kind of. I think everybody should have that. Just grab a couple of these uh, first issue of Watchmen for 60 cents from Eric, and buy a stack. Have a stack of them. And just when somebody asks you what's a good comic, just hand them one of those. Here, check this out. That's kind of one of the greatest comics of all time. So that'd be nice to have.
I think the House of Mystery Bronze Age Omnibus hardcover volume 2 in 20 years will be worth $350.
Really?
Yes, because it's going to be a low print run and hardly anybody's going to buy it. And the demand will always be there from the people that want the obscure.
Don't you think?
Collected editions are are worth a lot once they go out of print.
But don't you think we're going to be moving towards a print on demand eventually, where technology will catch up and you can just go to the vending machine at the
No,
and
because
just print out whatever you want?
it's too expensive right now. Because there's that one site, Indie Planet, and it's way more expensive than you could ever. They do print on demand, and it's expensive. Holy moly. I
For
bought
one
several
copy.
books for there. Yeah, it's like you're paying way more than if in the future they find a way to make it cheaper, then it's a doable do. But I like the only time you could save money on print on demand, like through that Indie Planet, is if I ordered 100 copies of something or 50 copies, not one copy of something. That's expensive.
Yes. Yeah, so it's still the same. It's still the same principle of the old printing system, which is the bulk and the volume, the price goes down.
I don't know.
I
It'd
don't
be
know.
a good world where you could do that, but I don't see it happening. I think things will become more digital, and then the physical media will be like your albums. You'll have those collector markets, collectors that want to have that old physical copy.
I don't know. I mean, printers. I mean, you just need the paper stock, right? So if you just have the paper stock is cheap enough, and you can just blow the ink on it, you know, I would think that there'll be a revolution in printing where it's I don't know. I would think that we'd be able to get there eventually, or maybe you're right. We're just going to phase out print altogether, and it'll be
I
like
think that's
Minority
more
Report.
likely than affordable printing. I think
Yeah,
I think the digital mechanism where everybody's like people that are old want print. People that are young, they don't care. They'd rather look at things and watch things on their iPad.
true.
And they're grown into that environment. Like that's their world. It's very different than my world.
Yeah. What what do you got? 60,000, 70,000 uh, print copies in your house,
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, no, it doesn't just stop there. I got physical toys. I still get
Oh yeah.
DVDs and Blu-rays. I mean, I got VHS tapes. I'm like all physical media. I have every cassette tape I've ever bought.
I think I saw your cassette tape of the Smiths greatest hits on
Yeah,
Twitter.
and
I
I
was like,
still
what are you?
listen
That
to
is
it.
retro, man. That is retro.
I even have 8 tracks. I mean, that's how old I am. I don't even know
It,
if you had 8 tracks in your lifetime.
they were around, but they were novelties. We didn't play them or have anything to play them, but they were still leftovers from my parents
Yeah.
who had them in their vehicles and home decks, but we didn't have any. We didn't have any use for them.
Program 1, Program 2, Program 3, and 4. That was your fast forward. You hit
Yeah.
the thing.
Didn't make any sense. Didn't make any sense at all
Yeah,
to
and you
me.
might catch a song like in the middle. It just
Yeah.
depends on where it was. Unfortunately, that the tape that they used warps easier than cassette. So all my all my 8 tracks, I don't know if they'd play anymore.
Yeah. Cassettes I remember fondly though. Now, did you read the preview of RWBY #1? The pages that were in the back of some DC books.
No, but you know why? It's because I buy every DC,
You don't
including
need
Mad
to.
Magazine, and I, I I I don't really go into like what the preview says because I just go check here, get this, get that. Where I
I was
really read
interested.
solicits are when it's something new. Like
Yeah, I was interested because of Mirka and Dolfo doing the art. Um, I liked her style a lot in Unnatural. I don't don't know if the story's going to be any
That
good.
Unnatural was really good.
Did you like the way it ended?
I haven't read it yet.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't read the
Oh,
ending,
enjoy.
but I have liked what I've seen. I mean, there's a lot of themes in there.
Yeah. I
So,
really like
so,
this.
so she's doing the interiors on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
At least in issue 1.
I think she's doing something for a Blaze too, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm really enjoying this Superman Year One. Just
Oh
Frank Miller.
God,
So
I
good.
I love it so much. Like the second issue, I immediately went on eBay and bought Lori Lemaris's first appearance,
Nice.
and I got it this week.
Yeah, it's really great.
I buy both covers because that's when I double dip on. I love the Black
Now,
Label large
now,
format.
Mike. Now, Mike. We had this talk. We haven't talked, but I listened to you on your Mike M's Weekly Reads talk about how we weren't going to do two covers anymore. That this was part of your scaling back.
I can't
Remember?
help myself when it's the Black Label. These big ones, I love the format so much.
Yeah, it is nice. They're really nice.
It makes the art just like pop. It's amazing.
I'm looking at the first one. I'm looking at the one that Jason got for my birthday. He was in Hawaii. Well, he lives in Hawaii, and he got me had John Romita sign it and sign a birthday card for me.
Are you a
Which
fan of
is
his? Because I love his art. Like me and
I love
Bill,
it. Yeah,
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 me and Bill, my co-host on Geek Brunch doesn't necessarily play around in Marvel and DC. He likes the indies and stuff. But when Ramita starts showing up in DC, he orders everything.
oh yeah,
Yeah, he just
yeah. I like
loves
it.
his art. I love it
it
too.
I think it's great. Let's see. We've got Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Batman Nightfall #1, more nth metal, dark multiverse, Scott Snyder, Kyle Higgins stuff. I'm trying to enjoy this, but it's not my favorite.
I wasn't
It's okay.
too big of a fan of that either, but this one has me curious because it's taking a big series like Nightfall and doing a play on it. Nightfall was essentially Bane breaking Batman's back, so I
Yeah.
wonder what they'll do here.
Now, as we slide into IDW, I am interested in the Cobra Kai Karate Kid.
Same here. I love it. I love the
That was
property.
that was a fun YouTube series. I enjoyed that.
Plus, it might
So
be a fun thing to go to a convention with because they travel a lot together. Ralph Macchio and that guy, they show up
yeah,
at a lot of cons, and
that would
it
be cool
would
to
be
get
cool to
signed.
get signed by both of them. It would be a fun thing.
Yeah, agreed. Nothing else really that sticks out in IDW for me.
Well, Kanto's hot.
Yeah, yep, yeah. I
Might
don't
as
know
well
if it's
finish
still
the series.
is it still hot though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're still coming out with multiple printings. I mean, hot is because there's more demand. I mean, it's all relative, right?
right.
If there's 2,000 fans that are clamoring for this, then it's not a large amount in any
No,
means. It's just that
true.
the print run is low, and there's more demand than there is a print run.
And sometimes that print run is so low that it's artificially inflated.
Yes, like the Arctic Press books.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. As we slide into Image, got to give another shout out to Ice Cream Man. It's one of I think is a very underappreciated series. I really enjoy it. They're really taking some risks and being very creative with the kind of writing that they're doing and the exploring the the comic book format in ways that are pretty fascinating. I really enjoy this book.
I'm really enjoying Reaver and Sonata. I think they're pretty freaking amazing.
Okay.
Reaver is like the Magnificent Seven in Sword and Sorcery days. It's pretty cool. If you're into the
Nice.
like Battle Beyond the Stars or Magnificent Seven or things like where you have this oddball group of characters that shouldn't be together, nor do they like one another, but they have to go on this adventure together to save something. That's what that's about. Really well done. And Sonata is just beautiful, even though this guy uses software to generate most of the art, Brian Haberlin. It gives me hope that I can sometimes do my own comic because I can't draw.
Yeah. Yeah. How is the guesser coming?
It's actually coming pretty good. Like it's I have thumbnails of the entire book, and then probably 5 pages he's inked so far. So there's progress.
So what's it like to send somebody a script that you wrote from your imagination and then get back an artist's interpretation of your words on a page?
Well,
What's that
well,
like?
in my case, I knew Zach, and I've been getting commissions from him for years. Like he's done like a Watchmen for me where like half of it is Charlton characters and the other half is the Watchmen because they're all derivative of the Charlton characters.
Oh, that's cool.
So like the question is split right down the middle with Rorschach, and then you got Blue Beetle and their corresponding characters, Doctor Manhattan, Captain Atom, and that was the only piece that I kind of wanted a layout. Everything else that he's done for me, like Suicide Squad, Atari Force, all kinds of stuff, he's done the layouts, Freedom Fighters on his own, and I've always been like blown away. So seeing him do like sequentials on what I envisioned, he like made it like 5 times better. Like I was thinking like one thing, and then he came across. This guy's perspective is like he'll like look from a corner or down or up, and it just look. His perspectives are amazing. So like I think it looks so incredible. I don't want to color it
That's really
because
awesome.
I've seen art get colored, and like G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero is a perfect example. If you go look at pages from Shannon Gallant or Robert Atkins, they're phenomenally detailed. And then when they put the colors on them, like you don't see the line work. You don't see all the like how fine the character looks. And it looks to maybe it's because it's like seeing your baby come to life,
Yeah.
and from a different eye, but with the same of what you wrote. Like I'm sure that if you don't get the right artist, then you could say, "Oh my God, what? I didn't think of it like that." But Zach has made it like 10 times better.
That's cool.
Yeah,
So it's a 20 pager,
22
and
pages.
you're about a fourth of the way through.
Uh, Probably yeah, a fourth is probably a good. And then I have to worry about lettering and all that stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I haven't even
It's
thought
hard.
about that yet. It's
So
expensive too. Like I don't know how people do it. Like when you realize how much a page costs and you're doing 22 pages of it, it's a lot of money. And that's just the art. You haven't done the cover, you haven't done the lettering, you haven't done coloring or what, you have a lot of stuff to do. And then printing costs. So I'm going to take a
are,
huge dive on this one.
are
But
you going to kickstart the printing costs at least?
I'm going to try to at least recoup the printing costs, but I'm not going to like make the success criteria high because I'm an unknown quantity.
Right.
So and I don't want to fail. So
So do you really think you might not color it? You might go black and white?
um we've talked, me and Bill's doing the liquor and I'm doing the guesser, and if they come out around the same time, we might do a flip book later on and then color
Is it
that.
same artist?
No, he has a different artist. I've met his
Uh,
artist. I actually, no, I haven't met his artist, but I've met the writer that works with the artist because I have one of his books that we picked up from C2E2.
yeah. I'm hoping I can find some kind of starving artist that will just do the sequentials as like a creator owned thing. Just give them to me, and then we'll pay you down the road when if we ever make money, make profit on it.
Yeah, it's a fun a fun thing, and I've told my artist that he owns 50%, like because I wrote down the script of every panel, but what he's made it come to life, he's envisioning how things look. So to me, it's only fair,
Yeah,
you know.
that's storytelling right there.
Yeah,
So you ballpark when you think what you get a year?
20 probably 2020 sometime, maybe November of 2020.
That's awesome. It will definitely be a spec pick of the week, I promise.
Yeah, it'll be
So
one of
there's
those low demand things that has higher demand.
yeah, exactly. Would you think about pitching it to a publisher ever?
Yeah, I would think about it. Zach knows publishers. He's had published work under Cosmic Times and other things. So yeah, I could possibly pitch somebody.
That's pretty cool. All right, we got off on a tangent.
Yeah, we did. But
That's
that
okay.
I'm contagious is what it is.
When you look at Spawn 301, there's a ton of covers and a lot of great names. You got a Sienkiewicz there. You've got J. Scott Campbell. You got some Alex Ross, LaPena, Capullo, of course, McFarlane. And they're only they're all cover price and discounted to $2.99 or $3.99. So if you didn't go heavy on 300, there's some pretty covers for 301 if you're interested. I'm thinking about
And
the
I don't know
Sienkiewicz.
if anybody's played around with the black and whites, but the black and whites are pretty nice.
Oh yeah,
Because the thing about the black and white is you're not just getting a black and white cover, you're getting interiors that are black and white,
yeah.
which is really fun to look at.
I think I've already got 2 copies of Amazing Fantasy 15 facsimile coming. That's probably enough. I don't know if I need that many. I mean, I think it'll sell really well, but I think they'll reprint it, and there won't be like any scarcity for it.
Yeah, like they did Giant Size X-Men. It came out
Yeah,
multiple times. But I think there will in the long term. I do. Because people can't afford Amazing Fantasy 15. But if they can afford this and put it with their Spider-Man #1 or what they can afford, they they have this down. You could just put it in your
yeah,
box.
it's a cool piece of history, and I don't think I've ever read it, even digitally or anything. So I'm looking forward to just reading it.
Yeah.
We've got Doctor Doom #1, so they're going to relaunch this. Shout out to Professor Allen of the Relatively Geeky Network. He's a huge Doctor Doom fan and is super excited and geeked out for the release of this title.
Yeah, some of the best Doctor Doom is supervillain team up from the 70s. That's so good. Even they had
Hell,
multiple writers. It's so good. I'd highly recommend picking those up.
what did Christopher Cantwell do? Oh, he's the Halt and Catch Fire guy. He's the showrunner from Halt and Catch Fire. Okay, all right. And
Yeah,
She Could Fly. Yeah.
the
Okay.
Absolute Carnage stuff has been really good, believe it or not.
Yeah, that surprises me. People really dug that.
And spec wise, Donny Cates has been saying that there's going to be some character that makes their debut in one of these minis, and not Absolute Carnage, but in one of the minis.
Yeah.
So I've been keeping an eye out. I'm really excited personally for the future fights. White Fox and these characters are pretty cool.
This is coming from a mobile game?
I think so.
Huh. I mean, never say never, right? Because I mean, these video games have had some hot comics in the last couple of years. So.
But there's a lot of like Asian type characters coming out, like Swordmaster and
Yeah. Yeah.
Arrow, and I've never been like a manga fan or anything, but I don't know if it's growing on me. But I've Agents of Atlas and those two are amazing.
Oh, if you go down a manga rabbit hole, man. Jeez.
I don't
That's
think
a
that'll
long way to
happen.
go.
I don't think that'll happen because I don't like reading backwards
That's true.
and right
True,
to
that is.
left. It gives me a headache.
Yeah, it is weird. It is weird, especially if you like have a manga and then you have a comic and you're like switching back and forth.
Yeah.
Very very confusing for me.
These Terry Dotson Gwenpool Strikes Back covers are pretty amazing. I like them a lot.
Nice.
Powers of X is hot.
Powers of X is hot, and I set it out. I feel like I missed the boat. At from time to time on Marvel events that I think are cash grabs. They both can be right. They can be good, and they can still be a cash grab.
I'm reading that one as it comes out. Like I'm only one issue behind right now because I haven't read this week's books. And
Well,
I will say that, well, for one, I'm a mood reader, so it kind of's not coming out as good as I think it should. But I think
yeah,
if I was to read it in trade, like I read the other Hickman books, I didn't read them in trade, but I read comic like the whole series back to back to back to back.
yeah,
And he's like an epic storyteller. But the thing that he lacks, I think more, like if you're into is like characterizations of like getting you emotionally invested in a certain character. Like his plots are larger than life and they're amazing. But to get vested in like a certain individual character, I don't think he does it very well.
yeah.
And
There.
I like characterization too. So
Oh yeah, definitely. Now there's the Vampirella Red Sonja #2. Cover A is Tula Lote, so you probably have that on order.
yeah.
So the incentive variant is the Virgin, and that's the $50 one. Those are Babs Tarr. I like her stuff.
It's hard for me to turn down Red Sonja and Vampirella covers. They're pretty amazing.
Look at that Babs Tarr. That's great.
Yeah.
Dang.
I like the Dave Mack one. I think that one's pretty cool, but I'm a fan of Dave Mack.
Yeah, that's good.
Death Defying Devil's a lot of fun. I hope it does all right.
Haven't read that yet.
You can't go wrong with Battlestar Galactica. Classic. Well, I'm in the classic camp.
Is that the okay, that's the or like based on the original
Yeah. One
series?
of the Twilight is based on the new series, and the class when they put classic, it's the original '70s series. And I love that series. I just recently rewatched it.
I don't think we had that channel when I was a kid.
It was on like NBC.
Yeah, we didn't have like legitimate TV. It was like we lived on a farm out in the hills, and sometimes we'd only get one channel because had an antenna. We were so far away
Yeah.
from everything. So sometimes we'd get 2 channels, sometimes we'd get 3. We always got PBS, so we always had like Sesame Street and stuff.
Electric
But
Company and Sesame Street.
yeah, yeah, we had that on lockdown all the time. But some of the networks were hit or miss depending on I don't know, the wind.
Yeah.
It was weird. So yeah, there was like whole things that I missed out on because we didn't have that channel. I'm really excited for Shoplifters Will Be Liquidated from Patrick Kindlin. It's an Aftershock book. Most of his work, I like most Aftershock books. I seem to like, so it's really a no-brainer for me. Excited about that one.
You know what I've really liked from Aftershock is the hardcovers.
Oh, really?
Yes, they're like in European hardcover size. They're
So you're
amazing
double dipping?
hardcovers. No, I'm talking about the ones that are direct to hardcover, like
Oh,
the Garth
oh,
Ennis War one and the
oh,
Aftershock, the
yeah,
Shock series, that are anthologies. Those are like direct to hardcover only. Like you can't get them in singles.
nice. I think that's all I see on the FOC for me. Anything else jump out to you, Mike?
No, that's good.
All right, let's hop over to Comicron .com, and we have a peek at August numbers. We have our top 10, and we also have the breakdown of the various publishers and their sales. We'll take a quick look at how we're doing this month versus last month. Down about 6% in dollars, 9% in copies of comics, which is a bummer. August this year versus last year, down 4% in copies of comics sold, up a little bit in dollars, which isn't great. It means the price went up. And then year to date, 2019 to year versus year to date 2018, down 4% in comic sales. Another bummer. And no surprise, the publisher with the most comics sold, nearly half of all comics sold were Marvel, 49.96%. That's pretty close to half. DC holding strong at almost 26%. Image gutted down to 6% of the comics sold. IDW at 4%. It's pretty strong for them. Dark Horse at 2.6, Dynamite at 2, Boom at 2, and then everybody else below 1. So top 10 comics sold for the month of August were at the top, Absolute Carnage #1 from Marvel, which was a surprise. I really thought it would be the #2 book, which was Marvel Comics 1000. But it came in at #2. Batman Superman #1 took the 3rd spot. House of X #3, the 4th spot. Powers of X #2 takes the 5th slot. House of X #2 and Powers of X #3 take 6 and 7. Then we have Absolute Carnage #2 at rank 8. Batman 77 at rank 9, and Batman Curse of the White Knight finishes out the top 10. That's the Curse of the White Knight #2, actually. So, were you surprised Absolute Carnage was on the top?
No, I think I expected it because of the amount of covers it came out with.
Yeah, yeah, and Donny Cates is pretty
He's
hot.
hot, but he's not like that much hot. But when you throw in 1,000 covers and everybody wants all the different variants, there's
Was there a
people
1 in
buying.
1,000?
I don't know if there was a 1 in 1,000, but there's a lot. I
Yeah,
mean, I just went through the comic shop and I saw like just six open to order. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's a lot. And at least at my shop, there's a lot of people that
Hmm.
get. I want all of them.
Well, Kyle and I play this game. Don't know if you want to play, but we guess what the sales of the #1 comic were, and we guess how many of the top 10 are over 100,000, have crossed the 100,000 mark. Do you want to play this game?
Yeah, sure.
All right. What do you think? What do you think that the sales for Absolute Carnage was?
250,000.
All right. I'm going to go below that. I'm going to go around 200,000. And how many of these, the top 10, do you think are over 100,000?
What was number 5?
Powers of X, number 2. It's like from 4 to 7 are all House of X and Powers of X.
That's tough,
And then,
man. I'm gonna
and then,
say that I'm gonna say the top 5.
okay. I'm going to go with just the top 3. I think all the houses' powers are under 100,000, but they might not be. We also have Absolute Carnage number 2 down there at 8. I'm sure there was a huge drop off to that. That's why I'm assuming that maybe just those top 3 are
Yeah.
100,000. We'll see how you do. We'll let you know. We'll let you know at the next
I'll
episode.
I'll be listening. So
Uh-huh.
I am a
We got
listener.
we have the final. You take a look at the graphic novels. We have the final Walking Dead volume out. Takes the top spot, which is cool. With the Batman Who Laughs hardcover below that. Harley Quinn Breaking Glass on third. Another incarnation of Watchmen takes the fourth spot. War of the Realms at 5. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. declassified slipcase hardcover at 6. Star Wars Vader Dark Visions at 7. Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, Volume 4, Season 2, Volume 4, take the 8th slot. Disney's Descendants, Eevee's Wicked Runway, Volume 2, takes the 9th slot. And rounding out the top 10 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, The Final Gauntlet. Some interesting appearances there, I thought. So we'll take a look next week to see just what those numbers actually were. We want to take a look at some of the comics that are hot on eBay for the week of 9/12. That is what is this week. Of course, number 1 is House of X number 4, the Melina connecting variant. Sold 35 copies this week, an average of $18 for a raw. Not bad.
That is a beautiful cover.
Yeah. We've got Batwing number 19, which is the first Luke Fox. This is selling raw $67. When did this thing come out?
This came out in New 52, and it's written by Palmiotti and Gray, like before, after the original. So the way they did this title spun out of Batman Inc. And
Oh,
it
okay.
was a different Batman, Batwing that was in Africa. And then around this issue, it switched over to Luke Fox, who's speculated to be Batman in something.
Yeah, and then they're gonna reboot Batman
Yeah.
as African American.
So
Wow.
I have this, and I was like, God, it's almost $100.
Yeah, it makes you want to break up your run, doesn't it?
Yeah, because I don't think it'll stick. So
No,
you always think about it, but I don't sell stuff, so I can't do it.
but you think,
I mean, if I was sane, I
yeah,
would sell it right now.
yes. Uncanny X-Force number 25, which is the first appearance of Omega Clan, is selling on average around $16, and the graded 9/8 are getting 160. Anything about this?
Probably something that shows up in House of X,
Yeah. Okay.
and
Makes
probably
sense.
one of those text pieces because there's a lot of content. Like it'll take you. The one thing that I like about House of X and Powers of X is there's some like prose context in there that gives you the history of like Sentinels and all the AI and all this stuff, and it, this is probably going to be speculated to be big in Hickman's is what I'm guessing. Either that or somebody's announced a movie. It's one of the two.
Yeah, yeah. I've not heard anything about that, so it must be in House of X. Then we do have a House of X number 4, just selling for double cover, not even double cover. Then we have Spawn 300, the 50 copy incentive McFarlane Virgin variant. It's selling average raw around $60, but it's a 1 in 50, so it probably cost you that to buy it. So that's not really great, I don't think. But they sold 100 of them this week.
Well, what was Eric selling a 1 in 54? Do you know?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Uh,
I'd have to look back in the old FOC archives.
Sometimes my shop will sell a 1 in 25 for like, I don't know, 15. So if you double it, it's 30. So you're still making a profit.
Yeah, usually like around me, like 1 in 10s are around 15. So 1 in 25s are higher than that. But there are a lot of price gougers around me.
Yeah.
The Marvel Comics 1000 D23 Expo variant. These are retailer exclusives. I think 1 per store. So there's maybe 2,500 of these. They're selling for about $200 a piece.
Well, these were given out at the D3 Expo.
Oh, I thought they were retailer incentives. No.
No. The D3 Expo happened a couple weeks ago where they announced a bunch of things and they gave away these things. So people had these variants, and a matter of fact, this variant has one extra page, I know for sure, that was done by Mark
Yeah.
Waid, but they took it out. So
It does say 1 per store in some of the descriptions.
well, maybe
they're
they
1
were
per store variants.
they were given one, but I know a lot of them are already on eBay because of the actual D3 Expo.
Yeah, and they're all around $200. So if
Yeah,
your
I
store
wanted
has
one
one,
so bad.
if it's on the shelf, pick it up. But I'm sure your store has figured it out. We also have another appearance by the sensational She-Hulk #1 because of the Disney Plus TV show. It's heating up. Sold another 34 copies this week, around $14 a pop raw. Graded 9/8 are going for $127. House of X3 still hot, double cover. Batman 77 because it's the potential death of Alpha. I haven't read 78, so I don't know what's going on there yet. They're still hot, so it's selling for $14. I've got a feeling by the time 78 and 79 happen, the bottom's going to drop on this one.
It'll be like the finger, the hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it'll disappear, come back. Then we have Batwing.
Or they'll throw him
number
into
20.
a Lazarus pit. You could always do that.
Yeah, we've done that road before, right?
A lot of times, yeah.
We got
Or
Batwing
Superboy
20.
could punch a wall. That's the other thing.
I don't remember that one. I don't
Yeah,
know that
that was
storyline.
in Infinite Crisis. Superboy Prime did that. Brought back some
That reset
people.
everything?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So there's another Batwing, issue 20 was actual first look Luke Fox as Batwing. That's only selling for $25.
That's pretty incredible though, because if you're into this kind of thing, I'll make some pointers because I see this at the shop all the time. Okay, you never. Rule number 1 in selling comics or speculating: never call the shop and ask if
Never
they
call
have.
the shop.
Never call the shop and say, do you have any Batwing number 20? Because the first thing that owner does is he goes to eBay and types in Batwing number 20 and looks what it is. You go there without saying anything and you dive into those boxes and don't say a word.
Yes. Another tip, don't buy 12 copies of one thing.
Yes, because my shop won't even let you at some point. Like somebody tried to go do that with was it Captain Marvel number 8?
Yeah.
And he actually sold it. Yes, I'll sell you one, and then he took some off the shelf and bagged and boarded them, and sold them. So it's weird. that isn't the strategy I would use. I'd want to sell through, but I would want to keep
I
only a certain amount on the shelf if I knew I was going to sell. If not, I would sell them. I think I would say take them all. That's
I
what I
bought
want to
I
do.
bought I bought all three Batwangs off the rack. It was all they had, and I had to say, oh, I got calls from friends that needed me to pick it up. They couldn't get to the store because he wasn't going to sell them to me because he was like, "What's the deal?"
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's supposed to be some, fat penis in this. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. That's a big deal." Like, yeah, it's kind of a big deal. And those
Yes,
were like,
you got you
and
got
then
to you
like,
got to be kind of slick. I did the same
yeah,
thing with Jessica Priest. Showed up in Curse of Spawn something or another, and she's supposed to be like one of the next Spawn, a female Spawn, and that book has gone up like to $10, $15, and I knew he had them in there, like a bunch of them, and I just took them in there, and I said the same thing you did. I said I do a podcast and I need to get a couple of these issues to send out so we could all talk about it.
that's a good one too. I like that.
So you're getting pointers here.
I'll use that
Yeah,
because I mean, like some stores don't care. They just want
yeah,
to sell through. They ordered seven, three for their three for the rack and four for their subscriber boxes, and they'd like to have zero, and they don't care
yeah.
what happens. And then other ones, they want to maximize, and they don't want to sell them for retail if they are selling for on eBay, and they should be paying attention, but they
Really,
don't.
what they should do is subscribe to Comicron and know ahead of time. The same time that everybody else finds out about them. There's the other site. What is it called?
Coverprice.com.
Comic Book Invest does their top
Yeah,
10 every week. Um,
yeah,
and
they should have those pages open on their computer every
yeah,
day
yeah.
and refresh them.
And there's a lot of overlap, but in some cases they're not. Like what they had is, they have Batwing number 19. They have the Marvel Comics 1000 as their number 2, but they have Marvel Spotlight 28, which is the first solo appearance of Moon Knight. Should be one of your favorites.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
and then they have Stumptown in there because of the series.
I can't wait for that series. It looks so good.
Yeah, it was good. They have Invincible Iron Man number 7, volume 2. Uh, who is this? Oh, this is the first appearance of Riri because of the movies.
Yep.
So that one's hitting hot because, and also where Tony Stark appears as AI are hitting hot because he's supposedly signing a deal to be a voice.
Yeah, that's when I heard that. That's my first thought was, I bet you he's going to be like the AI, like he was in that Ironheart book.
Yeah. And then Amazing Spider-Man 347 because of Donny Cates tweeting the cover of Venom holding the skull of Spider-Man. And then a couple of variants, that Virgin variant and Something is Killing Children, Jenny Frison variant.
Yeah, yeah, that was my pick of the week last week.
Yeah.
I nailed it. Nailed it.
It says they're selling for 10 to 15. Did you get one?
Yeah, I ordered one.
Yeah.
It's not here yet. But unlike my previous LCSs, when I order something, even if it gets super hot, I still get it for the price I paid. They
Yeah.
don't take it out of my box.
Just a short story. That's why I left a lot of LCSs when I lived in Albuquerque, because I would pre-order all my books and something would hit Wizard Magazine or something, and I'd like, why am I missing issue 52 of this
Yeah.
or issue 17 of this? And it started to get me angry, so I kept on moving until I found somebody that wasn't doing that to me.
Yeah. I lost Saga 1 and 2. Both 1 and 2 that way. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's it. I'm going mail order. See you later.
Yeah, it's never happened to me with my mail order either. That's why I migrated from my LCS, except for some DC books, over to another DCBS because of that reason.
Yep. Yep. I did the same thing.
Back half of previews, he would never fulfill my order 100% in the back half. I'd get like 80%, and I was
Yeah.
getting frustrated. So all my indies went over there, and then eventually all my Marvels went over there.
I couldn't even get all my image books.
Yeah.
My image books were hot, and they disappeared.
So
out of my pull box.
It's basically customer service that loses people, I think.
Yep.
And then they realize they can get discounts. The discounts help you get more.
Yeah, I mean, like if an LCS always filled, like a brick and mortar always filled my order, gave me a bag and board, and maybe tax off, I would stay there. I mean, I wouldn't go for the extra 30% if I got all that, because I used to get that from places, but they stopped doing it.
Yeah, my shop still gives me 25, so I'm fortunate.
Yeah.
Plus a free preview, so. Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty good. 25% off and free previews, and they bag and board it?
They don't bag and board it. But
that's right.
I wouldn't use it anyway because I buy them by the thousands because I get so much from.
And you like the Mylites?
I like the Mylar, yeah.
Yeah, you got the nice ones.
The thing about Mylar is it can make a 4.0 book like a 6.5. It always just makes it look good on your shelf and stuff.
It definitely does. It definitely makes them look good.
It's deceiving. It makes it look. Plus, it protects it better because you don't have that acidic thing that polypropylene has. But it is a lot more expensive.
The one place I was buying a lot of Walking Dead from back in the day, they would put all the Walking Dead in Mylar, and then they would put 2 backing boards behind it. And I don't know what it was, but the 2 backing boards behind it in the Mylar, the thing would just pop so nice.
Yeah. 2 backing boards make it unflexible, so it's flat, completely flat.
Yeah.
And you would have to go, if you were to order stuff, you would go from a half back to a full back. If you just wanted the single board, but a full back you can't bend. They're thick.
Very nice. So no matter what you buy something out of a quarter bin, you put it in a Mylar with a half back.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's because to me everything has value.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I'd say 90% of what I buy is not gonna make a lot of money, but then there's that 10%. But I'm just protecting my comics.
Yeah. So your free comic book day goes into a Mylar. That costs more than the free comic book day. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But you know what? That'll be nice. That'll be a nice collection for somebody someday.
Hey, you never know. Free Comic Book Day Umbrella Academy is worth a lot of money. I'll tell you that.
It's true. I got to put mine up. I keep forgetting.
So a lot of those things are first appearances.
Yeah, that's true.
If the Humanoids ever hits it, the first appearance of the Humanoid characters are all in a Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah. It was that Gail Simone?
That was Mark Waid.
Mark Waid.
Yeah.
All right, let's slide over to Previews World, to the new releases. This time we're going to look at releases coming out this Wednesday, September 18th, and see what kind of stuff we've got coming out. Let's look at Image. I am reading almost all this stuff, but I'm most excited for probably Outpost Zero. That's probably my favorite on this list.
There's a second print of Unnatural. Is that a different cover or the same cover? It is.
It's a different cover. Yeah.
That would be my spec pick.
Yeah. That's definitely
for
pretty
Image.
Nice. For Image, for sure.
The other thing that I think could potentially be hot if you're willing to wait is that Excellence, because they're going to be optioned, and I think selling the first arc will be worth it.
Do you like it?
I am a little over the fence with it, which means it's to me it's above average, but just barely.
So it's a 3
Yeah, that means I
or
like
on your
it.
scale?
Yeah,
On your
on my
scale?
the Netflix scale, yeah, I like it.
Yeah. I'm probably a 2, but I'm still reading it. That's the problem. Let's see. At Dark Horse, we've got a little Black Hammer. They're mining the heck out of that.
Oh my God, they have a comic book legal defense fund selling comics trade paperback guide to retailing. That one is going to be fun. Not a
Yeah,
spec pick, but that is going to be a great read.
fun to read. $15. We've got Steeple #1, written by John Allison, who also is doing some of the art chores. Looks like he did the cover too. Two women with wildly different worldviews become unlikely friends as they navigate the supernatural happenings in a sleepy coastal parish and soon find themselves forced to choose sides in the war between good and evil. Looks great. Um, I it's the guy who did Giant Days, which was running forever. It might still be running.
Did you go
Um,
on this one? Did you order this one?
I've got some. I've got at least a couple of
Couple?
these coming. Yeah. Um,
It looked appealing. They had preview pages. It looked good.
Strayed. I'm pretty sure I read the first issue of this. I don't think it stuck for me.
I think this Flaming Carrot omnibus is going to be worth some money.
Is this another one of those that
Yes, this is another one.
low print run,
Low
but going to
print
be?
run, it's a collected edition, and it's not going to be out there very long. Look at some of the omnibuses. Like, if you go look at the
Oh
price
yeah.
of it, they're expensive.
But then you know,
You're,
you
they're
buy.
double the quantity of what you paid, and if you get a discount, let's say if this cost $25 and you get it for 50% off
Yeah,
from your favorite retailer, then you're already making money on it.
that's true. That's true. I mean, from a sales standpoint, but I hate to be the sucker that paid $300 for this trade and then they reprint it, a year later.
But still, you have those compulsive people that a second print is like a sin.
That's true. We got a #1 GI Joe from IDW. This is Paul Aller doing the writing and Chris Evanhus on art. It's a new vision of GI Joe for a new generation, and GI Joe like you've never seen before. Featuring your favorite Joes alongside brand new characters. And what brand new characters means, first appearances.
Yep. They have a
Um,
good following.
yeah,
If I mean, if they're not big in sales, but they're very consistent.
yes.
GI Joe is a real American hero. So that could be interesting, especially if they're new characters. And who knows, they make another GI Joe movie and one of these new characters appears.
Or launch an animated series somewhere on Disney
Yep.
Plus or something,
Yep.
Napoleon Dynamite #1.
Yes, this is
This
what I'm
one,
excited for.
yeah, this hit me in the nostalgia button too. So go ahead, tell me all about this.
I adore this movie. I've seen it like 25 times already, and anytime it's on, both my wife and I will leave it on that channel and watch it from that point on all the way to the end. We love Napoleon Dynamite. I don't know what it is. It's such a dry humor. But it's just amazing. I just love it. Uncle Rico, man.
It is. It really works. And then like not the sequel, but the thing the guy made next, that wrestling movie with Jack Black, Nacho Libre.
Yeah.
Didn't work the same. Didn't
No.
quite hit the same button. So,
This
but
one
this,
just like it's like one of those things that comes like every 20 years. They make something unique, like
yeah,
something that just hits with a certain fan base and comes a cult favorite. And
like
that's
Office
that's
Space.
this. Yes, Office Space is another one. I
Yeah,
love that. PC Load Letter. I love
such a
that.
good one.
The O face.
But I'm gonna yeah, I'm definitely got that one coming too. So I'm excited about it. DC.
Another fun one to get signed if they ever show up at a convention.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. That'd be a good one for that. Um, we've got Inferior Five. Um,
Oh, I'm
I don't know much
excited about
about
that.
them. Who's the Inferior Five?
The Inferior Five was a Silver Age property that first appeared in Showcase, and they're an oddball of characters that are sort of forgotten, but they were definitely made for humor.
Oh,
It was
cool.
it was the time of comics where they were trying out things like first and or and not brand Ech at Marvel,
Oh,
and
okay.
DC wanted to get in on that, so they came out with the Inferior Five. They premiered it in Showcase, and then it launched into its own series because it had enough demand, but it didn't last very long. And this one looks like a darker toned one, and it looks like it's going to be totally different characters, but it looks interesting. It's got Keith Giffen on it, and
Jeff
this
Lemire.
has this has Peacemaker, and Peacemaker is an amazing character. Peacemaker, if you don't know, was developed in Charlton, and he's the comedian. If he's the inspiration for the comedian in Watchmen, so that's what you're getting. Peacemaker made a splash in DC, obviously in Crisis on Infinite Earths. He had a 4-issue mini, and then later he showed up in Checkmate, and now he's coming back again. So I'm looking forward to this.
That's fantastic. Flash forward. What is this? A mini? What's
This
a
is
Wally West?
this is a continuation of Heroes in Crisis.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. That was
Not
not well
not not
received
the
by a lot of
same
folks.
writer though. It could go either way. Like it could be his redemption into the DCU, or I don't know what they're gonna do. I really don't. But it could be a fun ride to see what they're going to do. I
I did
don't
not.
think
I did not hate Heroes in Crisis. I didn't really think it was that bad.
I I'm pretty much in the middle. I think it had highs, like,
Yeah, art
but
wise, it was great.
I don't like the tweak at the end. Like it just didn't seem like Wally. And, but I'm real invested. I own every Flash comic since like 1973, every title, and I'm vested in the character. So
Well,
I'm a little more.
to be fair, Mike, you own every DC comic since 1973.
But Flash is my number one.
Okay.
Okay, so he's my. I love Wally West. So when you get vested into a character, like let's say it was Mark Spector, right?
Yeah,
Moon Knight, and
they
somebody
treat him
just
pretty poorly though.
they do, and I wish they would take him back to his roots just to change it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Because they've been playing with the multi personality for so long
yeah.
that I'd really like them to take I know where they got it from because you could read those classic Moon Knights and he had all these aliases.
Yeah,
I mean he was a taxi driver, he was a mercenary, he was this and he was that,
and
and
those were fun.
those were fun, but he wasn't loony. And
No, it wasn't crazy.
yeah, so man, I hope it'll be interesting to see what they do with Moon Knight in the series, the TV show. But
Yeah,
I think they're gonna go with the crazy. I really do.
yeah, you're probably right. High level number six. I don't know if this is the end of this or not, or how much longer this one's going to go. I've enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. It was
Haven't
um,
read it yet.
Vertigo. That's pretty
I've been
fun.
really happy with Vertigo this last round before they dissipated it.
Yeah, yeah, which is kind of depressing. But I'm sure it'll come back. Can't be gone forever.
Right.
It's too much of a brand.
Yeah, you
I'm
can't
really
let they
really
won't let
liking.
the trademark go. They won't.
Yeah, I really love the Jimmy Olsen book and the Lois Lane book. For that matter, I think they're really great.
They are amazing. They're the Jimmy Olsen is really a tribute to Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen that came out in the 60s and 70s. It has that tweak of wackiness to it that's very Silver Age. It's
Yeah,
really
it's
fun.
really fun, and Lois Lane is just really smart.
Yeah.
It's a smart book. Slide down to Marvel. A long-term value on that Avengers West Coast Epic Collection trade.
Those Epic collections are quite
You have all of them,
expensive.
right?
Yeah, I have every single one that's ever come out, except for Shang-Chi because I had the omnibus, but I've rectified that. But I'm wondering if those will go down because in the latest previews, they're starting to resolicit some Epic collections, like new prints. So it'll be like second print of this Epic collection. So that could drop those in
Yeah.
price, the first generation.
I'm not gonna skip on Black Panther and Agents of Wakanda. I'm not a Jim Zub fan, really.
I like him.
Didn't like what he did to Champions. Kind of destroyed that book. We've got that facsimile edition of the Frank Miller Daredevil 181.
That's another series I own everything of. He's my
That's
favorite
great.
Marvel character.
He's great. I got a ton of Daredevil. I love
Yeah,
Daredevil too.
him and Black Panther are my two. True Believers Hulk returns already. That's incredible.
What's your favorite uh, Black Panther series? What do you point to say
I
this is
think,
Black Panther at its best?
well, I'm a Kirby fan, so
Oh,
I
okay.
like artistically the first series, but the series that defined what Black Panther is today and what he became in cinematic is the Christopher Priest.
Okay.
That is the run to have.
Okay.
Phenomenal. He came up with a lot of the concepts. Plus, the jungle action has a lot of first appearances too. So that's a word. Plus, it has him fighting the KKK kind of thing. It's interesting. You don't see that too much.
Yeah. We got a J.J. Abrams Spider-Man #1. So that should be interesting. Is he doing it with his son? He's
Yes,
writing with his son, isn't he? So that could be okay then. I don't know. We'll
that
see.
could be a good spec pick. You never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. It looks interesting. There's a lot of Spider-Man though. A lot of glut out there.
But this is his first comic work that I know of.
First, J.J. Abrams, I thought he did other stuff.
Has he?
I think so. I think he has. Yeah, those True Believers are pretty neat. You got Joe Fixit, Professor Hulk, Hulk
Yeah,
Returns. Those are fun. Those are fun to
those are
have.
all good ones. Plus the new one. It's crazy. Hulk Returns.
What do you think about the Valkyrie Jane Foster?
Oh, I love it. I
I like
I
I liked
love
it.
her power set, and it's just written so well that
Yeah,
I think it's so good.
yeah. And that thing can turn into anything that she needs. I like that.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I'm Jason Aaron. I am a fan of. Like, there's not too much Jason Aaron that I go, oh, he's off the rails, or
Yeah, I mean, I don't like his epic
he's
when he does like the
consistent at least.
Yeah, when he does the events, though, they don't really appeal to me so far. They haven't really clicked, but everything else I've really liked.
Oh, you don't like the Watcher? What he
No,
did with the Watcher?
no. Let's see, nothing really in Dynamite
I love
for
Dynamite.
me. Yeah, you do. You do.
I
You like a
uh
lot of this
I
stuff.
buy almost all of it. My favorite being Red Sonja, and
Yeah, I
these
do enjoy
these
that.
these Perillo covers like Red Sonja Birth of the She Devil #4, they usually go up in price. So
I'm just reading the Mark Russell Red Sonja.
oh, I love Mark Russell. Oh God. He's
Ev-
Second Coming is my favorite comic of the year.
Yeah, I just got a
If not the
preview
if
copy.
not the decade.
I
Me
just got
yeah,
a preview copy of issue 3, and
yeah.
it's got my letters in the back. So make sure you
Oh,
read that.
nice. I me and Bill talked about it for an hour and a half. That's how
Issue
much
two,
we loved it.
issue 1 or issue 2?
Issue 1.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. It was well done, very well done.
It just there were so many things that I can pull out of that like
Oh yeah,
thematically that that I don't know that define me or and there's things in there that I've had hap in my life in some weird twisted way, but
yeah,
it is I took more out of it than I think he even put out there. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
yeah, that it's just incredible.
yeah. I thought it was really well done, and I thought 2 was really good, and I haven't got a chance to read all of 3 yet, but I'm gonna because I got it early, so I'm excited about it. We slide down to Boom. We got Once in Future fifth printing of the first issue, and then we got a third printing of Something is Killing Children, and the second issue of Once in Future. Did you get a chance to read that first issue?
No, I that was the one time on the podcast I said I'm going to start reducing it, and I chose not to get it.
Ah, that was one of your
But
master your cast.
I've rectified it because in this order of previews they resolicited like fourth printing of #1 and then all the others. So
Really good.
I ordered the whole damn thing.
You try though. I appreciate the
I
that you recognize you have a problem and you try to fix it,
I
and then you
tried.
fall off the wagon like the week after. But that's fine.
I lasted for about 3 weeks and then it just I just I did collector's corner with another person that collects like me, and he just like loves all the comics, and we had a discussion of our size of collections and death, and it it got kind of morbid, but at the same time he had some very good points about just being happy when you're alive, and it it changed my opinion of some things.
That's cool. I haven't heard that one yet. I'll
Yeah.
have to listen to that. Who is it? Which person was it?
Mike Pindell. He actually inspired Mike M's Weekly Reads. So he does a podcast called The Comic Book Attic,
Oh yeah.
and
Okay. Okay.
yeah, and he's got like he loves physical media like me, and plus he has this like attitude that he wants to read every single comic book that's ever been published like me. We know it's unobtainable, but we still try.
Right. But
Yeah.
I've already had the conversation with both wife and daughter, and neither one of them want my comics when I'm dead.
Un-
So
well,
I don't.
I keep what you do. In matter of fact, I want to have you on the show because it's a different perspective. I had Aaron Myers, who's I don't know if you follow him on Twitter,
Yep. Yep.
but he's an incredible person too
He
because
he pisses
he
me off because he'll post
I bought this
like,
for $1.
I
I
bought
bought
this
this
for a
for
dollar and it's Amazing Fantasy 15.
well
Like, what?
the thing that he's got going for him. He's a fascinating guy, by the way. He he's in the collect buying, so a lot of people instead of going to the shops they'll call Aaron and they say, I want to sell 25 long boxes and I want to get rid of them today, and I want $200. That's
Yeah,
how he
because
gets those
he's
things.
in Portland, right?
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
always warn him, if I ever move there, you're going to have a hell of a challenge.
but I mean, like Portland is like a mecca for comics.
Yeah, it is.
Like
It
all the
is.
creators live up there,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I can't believe that he has access to so many comics when there's so many comics people up there.
Yeah.
It blew my. I listened to that episode. That was a good one because yeah, I was like, how do you do it when we have so much competition in Ohio, man?
Yeah.
I mean, there's people posting all over the place buying comics, buying comics.
Well, I've listened
And
to I've interviewed some interesting people like Mike Pindell. He shops at flea markets, thrift places, and he gets like fantastic deals. And that's why I like following him, and that's why I wanted to get him on the show, because of the way he gets comics.
yeah, he's still acquiring. That's cool.
Yeah, he's still he doesn't sell. So
Yeah.
Aaron will I buy a lot from Aaron. I don't know if you knew that, but
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
I
I see the tweets. You're like, throw it in my box.
yeah. Well, most of the time he says no, because I've been like, I went to the flea market this last weekend, and Archies are expensive. Like, if you want a older Archie, and at the flea market people want to just get rid of them at a buck, and they're like, you'll see like Aaron posted like, bought this Golden Age Archie for $250, and then you go look at what it is and it's 500. So he
Yeah,
knows what he's doing.
yeah,
Um, and he knows he can flip it. And the thing about him is he's willing to do the Batwing thing. Like, oh, it's hot now, I'll drop it. Like he did that with Walking Dead #1. Um, but he is a collector too. Like he wants to have one issue of everything. So he doesn't always want to sell to me.
but sometimes he has like multiple.
Yeah, when he gets multiples, he knows. He got a Charlton collection recently, and it was I love romance comics. They're so fun to read. Oh, they're hilarious. Um, and he got some of those, and I saw duplicates, and I'm like, you know who to call. You know, I want them.
As we slide down into the back half, unless I missed something that you were interested in, just shout it out if I did.
No.
We've got RG 1955 #1. I always like the Francavilla covers. Those are always the ones I gravitate towards. But this is another Mark Waid version. I think, what was the other one that they just finished up? Was that 54?
Yeah.
No, that was 41. That was 41.
That was World War One, right?
Yeah.
Or World War Two, sorry.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Oh,
Now we're in the rock and roll 50s era.
Yeah, so it should be fun. The last one was fun. This one should be fun. Mark Waid, I think, does a better job than Nick Spencer, but on Archie, kind of miss him on the regular title.
I miss the original because it was a little less serious.
Who was writing it then, before Waid?
There was a slew of them. I can't even think of their names, to tell you the truth. I know the artists more than I do the writers.
Back in the day.
I have to go on blank because there's a blender going on in the background. So talk.
There's Forever Maps #1. This is from Scout Comics, written by Michael Legassi, and with art by Todor Todor. The newest entry in the new Binge imprint, where Scout releases a world premiere issue followed by the entire trade a few months later in one volume, which I think is a pretty cool concept. It's kind of the way Mike's friend Bill reads. He'll sample first issues and then buy trades, and if he likes it or finds out that it was really good. Right?
Yeah,
that's kind of,
he's the #1 guy. But the interesting thing about him is he's the perfect guy to sell his #1s because he gets the trade, but he won't do it. He won't do it.
He just keeps them.
Yeah.
Why does he keep them? Why does he sit on them?
I don't know. It doesn't. well, none of us make any sense. I mean, you
we're,
make
we're comic.
you make sense because you want to you have the Aaron theory is like I want to make enough profit so I can not spend on my hobby. Do you know what I
Right, but
mean?
I suck at it lately. I suck
Yeah.
at it. I'm in the hole this year. I'm not doing well. Not doing well at all.
But
So
it
yeah,
makes logical sense
yeah,
because then
yeah.
that I mean in an ideal world you would be having a hobby that doesn't cost anything, right? In a perfect world.
In a perfect world, it
Yeah.
would break even.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, I still have the excess in the savings, So from the when I sold all the keys early on,
Yeah.
that's there. But this year has not been good. I have not done enough selling. I've just been lazy. So I need to get back on it. That needs to be my New Year's resolution or my Thanksgiving resolution. Do they have those? I'm gonna make one. There's Second Coming #3. Like we just talked about. We're excited about that. That's coming out soon. I think that's going to be a fun collection when it's done. Is it just 4 issues? Do we know?
I'm not sure. I haven't even paid attention.
Yeah. And I got a feeling it's going to get optioned. I think that'll be a really cool little series.
The do you read the back matter of Second Coming?
Yeah. Yeah.
I that floored me in issue 1, the back matter. The content just blew me away because I think of him as one person, but I when I read what he was writing, I got so much more out of it. Like it really turns it flips the script in some aspects on Faith. It's
Really
amazing.
powerful stuff. He did a really good job, and he could have, because it got rejected out of hand before people even read it, before people read anything more than the a line on the solicit and said,
Nothing I hate worse than somebody that bashes something before they've even seen it.
yeah,
That is one of my pet peeves that I'll just go off on. And there's a certain person on a certain place that does that, and
yeah,
it drives me nuts.
and a close second is when you reject an artist's work based on some tweet that you saw on their feed 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, come on,
it's crazy.
just read the art and then figure it out later. We've got something called Pelid Pellucidor Wings of Death #1 from American Mythology Productions, written by Mike Wolfer with art by Bruno Bull. Cover looks sweet. There's a big gorilla.
What one is that? What is that called?
Pellucidor.
Oh,
P E
Pellucidor. Yeah, this is an
Pellucidor.
Edgar Rice Burroughs property.
Sweet cover, man.
Yeah, this company's been like hitting it with Zorro and the
Yeah,
Edgar Rice stuff, and I've even been reading Bullwinkle, Rocky and Bullwinkle, and Underdog,
yeah,
and I've been enjoying the hell out of the books that this publisher's putting out.
yeah. I like a lot of their stuff. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's fun. I mean, it's just this one I'm looking forward to.
we have Sister Powers #1, Keen Spot, written by Mario Witch and Jeff McClellan, with art by Mario Witch. I like the look of it. It's a coming of age tale, two superpowered sisters, and it's looks like it was first appearance in Keen Spot Spotlight 2019. So this is really the second appearance of these characters in case they break out. Keep that in mind. And then we also have You Are Obsolete #1 from Aftershock. This is Matthew Klickstein with art by Evgeny Bornikov. And it's about a disgraced journalist who's called over to cover a mysterious story on an isolated European island. As she investigates, she discovers the children have taken control and are somehow killing off all the adults by their 40th birthday. So I'd be in trouble. Um, I, I like all Aftershock stuff, pretty much. I mean, pretty much all in on their stuff.
Yeah, same here.
At least 75% of it, I'm enjoying the hell out of it. So it's really good.
Everything is above a 4 for me. I
Yeah,
haven't run across anything that I'm all in.
yeah.
I just I believe in their property. I believe in the people that run the company.
They get top-notch creators,
Yeah,
and
they just they haven't hit it like I'm waiting for that thing to break open. Like I know what they're trying to do.
yeah,
They're trying to option off a lot of their properties, and I hope that they hit it with something.
yeah. I want them to be solvent. Now, when
Yeah.
you were talking about Second Coming and how that affected you, A Walk Through Hell by Ennis kind of did the same thing to me.
Yeah.
Like that thing was like devastating in some of the themes that were going on in that book,
Yeah.
and the evil that was on display,
Uh-huh.
and just like the conspiracies and stuff. I was just
Right.
like, whoa, this thing. It was just rocking my world, man. It was so good,
Garth
and
Ennis is so good. Like
he's so good. He
I
is.
I read his story. It was only 8 pages, but it was a story in that Shock Volume 2 about a Russian gunner, machine gunner who was in the medical field before she joined the army to fight off the Nazis, and it was so powerful that I went immediately to Google and did research on her, and it's stories like that. It's stories that drive me to buy more stuff, and
Right.
it's a passion, I'm like, oh my God, he did this, and I want to find out this in history, or oh, the Lori Lumeris was in year one, and I want to have her first appearance. That's why I go down these rabbit holes. I can't stop.
But I mean, you could be, you know, snorting cocaine and smoking crack. So this
Yeah,
is a pretty good. This is a pretty good vice to have.
alternative. Yeah,
Yeah, I would take comics over some of the things that other people do.
it's that and cheer wine lately. I love that drink.
Yeah, is that a Colorado thing or is that available
No, no,
everywhere?
it's a Carolina thing.
Okay.
It's in North Carolina. They have it everywhere, and now I can go to like specialty places and pick it up.
And it's like a Dr. Pepper or
It's like a cherry. It's
cherry
hard.
Coke?
It's hard to describe it. You have it. It's really hard to describe.
I'll look for
Yeah,
them at my local
try
Kroger
it.
and see if they have
Yeah,
it.
you could probably Google it and find it. Where to buy cheer wine at where you're at.
Came out of North Carolina.
I don't know where it's like at, but it's everywhere in North Carolina. Like it's in fountain. Like you can go to a restaurant and it'll be on the fountain drink.
Oh man.
Yeah, so
So did
like
you get it when you were at Heroes Con?
yeah, that's the matter of fact. They had it at Heroes Con. There was a booth that was just giving free samples of cheer wine, and I was like, "Oh my God, what is this?" And I became addicted.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a con that's if you want a comic con, like a comic 100% comics and no celebrities, that's
Yeah,
Heroes
I've heard
Con.
good things.
It
I've heard it's
is
great.
amazing. Like it is the best of the cons in my opinion.
That's the one. That's the one. Derek Royal was always asking me to meet him there. We were gonna meet up at
Yeah.
Heroes Con. I could never swing it, and I was like, yeah, oh Derek, we got time. I'll catch you in a couple years. We'll definitely do it. I promised to go, and then he passed, so I never got
Yeah.
the chance to.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
that
but
he
I'm gonna go
died way
someday.
too young. Very very shocking.
Yeah. Well, that's all the stuff I'm looking at. There's plenty. It's a heck of a week. It looks like a really good week for comics to me. Um, Anything stick out to you, Mike, that would be something that either you've got to read or that might be an investment comic for our listeners?
I think that last Aftershock book that you mentioned, I think that's my spec pick.
You something
You
something.
are obsolete.
You are obsolete. That's a good
Yeah.
one. I am going to go with Steeple number one from Dark Horse. And so we've got You Are Obsolete from Aftershock and Steeple from Steeple from Dark Horse.
No, I want to change
These
my
are
answer. I want to change my
okay.
answer. I want to go
Okay.
with Butcher Queen, number one from Red
What
5.
is it?
Butcher
Where is
Queen,
it?
number one.
Oh, we skipped right over that one.
Yeah, I'm going with that one.
Butcher Queen number one.
Red 5.
Red Five. They have good stuff. Jim
Yeah.
Owsley, Ben Sawyer. Um, well, we'll give a posthumous, no, not posthumous. Since Kyle's missing, we'll give You Are Obsolete to him. We'll,
Okay.
we'll have three in the we'll have three in the show notes.
Well, I'm getting
That'll
both,
that'll
so I'll be covered.
yeah yeah. Um, Mike, I want to thank you very much for joining, and this is one of our longer episodes. Of course, I knew that was going to happen when you said yes. I was like, oh, I got to make sure we got plenty of tape in the deck because Mike and I get to talk, and we'll be talking for a
Well, it's
while.
our first
Uh,
time too, so first time
yeah,
chatting.
I, but I appreciate you taking the time out of your Friday night. I hope it didn't ruin date night for you and the wife.
Oh no, we're
Um,
gonna eat soon. It's gonna be a late
okay.
night, but I did want to mention one thing that was kind of funny.
Oh,
Um,
sure.
that has to do with speculation. So Dinesh Shamadasi Sanani, who was the Valiant
Yeah.
CEO, he posted on Twitter yesterday Bloodshot 37 in the cover, and what it caused is the value of the book to go skyrocketing because all the speculators started to buy it. But what the funny thing is it's just a countdown until the preview of Bloodshot. So today he posted 36, tomorrow he's posting 35. I thought it was kind of funny because a lot of it's sold out, and if you go to eBay and look up Bloodshot 37, you'll see evidence of it. Like they essentially went to mycomicshop.com and Mile High and cleaned them out. The speculators did.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We saw today that Cowabunga's got a exclusive retailer variant
Yeah.
for a Valiant book. Is it a
And
Bloodshot too?
it is Bloodshot. And the thing that's interesting, I mean, from a spec version of is the Valiant fans are they're a very tight community, and if you get into that community and you can offer up variant covers, you will sell them. I mean, I don't know what you'll sell them for, but you will make your money back
Now
because
you
of
you were really tight. You used to go to like barbecues with the owners at the owner's house, didn't you?
yeah, of Mile High. Yeah. Um, Yeah, I'm a completist of Valiant, so I like own every single Valiant comic ever published, and I know every story, so I'm really invested in the universe. And the Valiant fan community is amazing. Like a lot of my best friends came out of the Valiant community, and the thing that's cool about the community is there were times when I was seeking out some really obscure books that I missed out because the company went under and they just didn't ship to my LCS. And there were people there that were looking for me, and I was able to complete my collection for those rare books like Shadow Man number 6 and Unity number 3, Unity 2000. They're very expensive books. And these
You don't have the
people,
glass covers, do you?
no, I don't go that far, but I know people that do. Like, I have
Yeah.
a lot of friends that buy those glass covers and that buy every single variant, and I'm really good friends with them. So it's a fascinating community, and you could sell Valiant comics to people because once people get addicted, they usually go all in. They want
Is it
everything.
do you think it's because it's a shared universe that interacts?
Yes,
Everything
and it
it goes
usually
back. It's got a history, and
exactly. And they once they get latched in, and it sometimes it takes longer than others, but once they find a character and they latch in, and they see the branches out to other things, they start becoming completists. So, and it's more so in the Valiant first generation because it was tightly coupled. Now they have the philosophy of like Hellboy and all the other philosophies that kind of like I'm gonna do a mini and I might have some tie-ins, but I want my story to stand alone. They had to adapt to the market, and that's what happened.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I like about like I'll be reading, but the thing I like about Big Two comics is like I'll be reading something and I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that's a callback to what happened back like 150 issues ago. I remember that. Or there'll be
Yeah.
an editor's note that'll give me a little piece of information and it'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that happening.
Yeah.
And then that's the fun part about the shared universe.
Yeah.
And then the not so fun is when the people that are writing it and the editors that are overseeing those writers don't pay attention to any of that, and then they ignore it and screw it up, and
No,
they don't honor.
but a good writer will take it with respect. And
Yes.
like Cates is good at that. Jeff Johns is good at that. They're able like to take the history, keep it going, and then twist it a little bit so it's different, or add
Yes.
something to the history of that character. And that's what I like because it's payment for a current reader plus it's payment for the guy that's been vested in that character because of all the callbacks they use. Um,
There are a lot of guys that do that do it really well. And then there are a lot of people that are just like work for hire writers, I think,
yeah,
that don't actually care about that property at all. They're just doing that
yeah,
until they get a better gig, and
yeah.
they
Like
do not.
to me, Warren Ellis when he's writing Avatar or when he's writing Image or other things, even Wildstorm, when he's doing something that he's more vested in, he's phenomenal. Like he just like will knock
Oh
my
yeah,
socks off. But then when he's doing like a Justice League book or something that's like, I'm like, ooh, it's like light and day. Like you can tell
yeah.
with him, like when he cares about something, because it'll blow me away. I mean, Images fell. Some of the Avatar stuff, Doctor Sleepless, like it was amazing and he didn't finish it. That was around the time that he didn't finish a lot because he lost his laptop and he just said, "Screw it. I don't want to I don't want to regenerate all these scripts." But
Really?
yeah.
I don't remember that happening. That's interesting.
Yeah, read Desolation Jones. Oh my God, it's great. Like the stuff that he was doing for Wildstorm is amazing, off the charts amazing. So it's he seems to like Jim Lee because that's his baby. But if he goes into the mainstream, like I'm really curious to see what he'll do with Batman if I'm gonna like it or not. But I better let you go because I can go on for hours, dude.
I know, I know. I do appreciate you coming on, Mike. We need more people like you in the comics industry. If we had more Mike Myers, this industry would be thriving. And
It would because they buy all the comics.
yeah, you're the best. You're the best kind of comic reader. You love stuff. You're passionate about it, and you're positive. And we need more people like you. So I really, really appreciate you, and I appreciate you spending some time with me tonight.
Well, thank you for inviting me. Now you owe me one, so you have to come on my show.
Oh shit! Is that how it works?
That's how it works.
Damn it! All right. Hey, do you want to? Since Kyle's not here, do you want to sign us off?
See ya.